Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Age Groupers. So this is two old mates who've basically known each other a long time. We just talk about like life and what gets in the way of training. Not like competing for sort of medals and winning things. Just basically trying to get to the end of age group competitions. Everything from your Ironmans, your High Rocks, your general triathlons. So it's me, Stu, and Rich. Say hello, Rich.
I
So we usually start off by talking about what happened to our week, and then we're gonna. This episode, we're talking about the sort of work-life balance and trying to fit training in around like kids and all the other things that go wrong in life, as it were. So, how's your week been this week then, Rich?
it's been all right, Tom, mate. Been. I think we spoke at the end of the last episode that we had some goals, didn't we, to
Yeah, that's right.
tick those boxes? And yeah, I've ticked those boxes. I've done all right. I've had some good sessions, a couple more runs. Yeah, two really good runs actually. And then again, some gym sessions, High Rocks based. And then been a busy weekend because my wife had a birthday, and I had mine on. Hers was on Saturday, and mine was on Monday.
Yeah.
So that was busy. Busy doing stuff, seeing family. Went bowling, had some food. Work was
Yeah.
busy, as it always is, and then yesterday. What are we today? We're Wednesday now. Yeah, Monday birthday busy. Tuesday work was busy, but had a battle rope session in the garden yesterday
Yeah,
because
yeah,
very much what we're going to talk about today was life and kids and work meant I
yeah.
couldn't get to the gym, and then today work wasn't that busy, so I could get to the gym. So I had a good hour and a run to the gym and walk back. So, well, I could talk about that a bit more detail later. But yeah, it's been decent. What about yours?
Yeah, well, yeah. I was trying to do a lot more turbo this week, so I got to try and pick up on the bike a little bit more. I've done good running of the sort of 2 weeks prior to that. I'm really picking up the run pace and everything, but I need to put some more time on the bike. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, there's been a sickness bug going around the school, so that threw spanner in the works. We had all three kids being sick at one day or another,
Oh,
staying up late, 4 o'clock in the morning, sort of sitting there with one of them being sick, and I'm sleeping downstairs. So what I actually did, I managed to get two sort of turbo training sessions. It was pretty good,
mm.
but I sort of, we were talking about how many burpees and everything are in the high rocks, for example. So
Yeah.
it got me thinking, like, because I want to try and do a bit of different strength training, and try and find things that I could just do like on the spot. No weights, just there. So I
Mm.
basically started doing 100 burpees and then 50 burpees, 50 lunges, and then 100 squats straight after. So you just do
Mm.
it straight after each other. So it
Yeah.
really starts to burn as well. I was like, I thought, I'll just give it a go. But yeah, I was like, it's really burning actually. By the time you finish the 100 sort of squats, you can really feel it. So I've done
Mm.
that every day this week now, and that's made a big difference, I think. But it only takes sort of 5 to 10 minutes because I've got the kids being unwell and stuff. I was able to quite easily fit it in, find those
Yeah.
10 minutes. So yeah, and then yesterday I did like a brick session type thing. So I did like a 5K row and 25 miles on bike, and then went for a 10K run, which I pushed myself too hard on the run really. So uh, yeah, I'm feeling that a bit today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a bit of a chaotic week, really. I really haven't been able to stick to a like schedule. I've had to just change it like every day. I have to change what I'm doing. I wake up with a plan, and then things change, and then I have to go right. I've got to change that plan a bit. So
Mm.
yeah, it's hard when you're trying to train and you've got that going on, but you've got to fit something in every day. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. it is tough. But like I say, with the work thing, isn't it? Work is well, work's work. Got to work, haven't you? But bills to pay. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's I don't know. It's the difference between what my previous work life was like, where I was employed, set shifts, shift patterns, and stuff, where I kind of know exactly what shift I'm doing and where I can fit my training in prior to it or after it, and then on rest days. So in a way, I guess, yeah, pros and cons, isn't there? Because I think I can. I think I was a bit more consistent in my training and structure when I was employed. Because, like I said, you know where you're at. That all the shifts are nailed on. They're on the calendar.
yeah,
Whereas in the world of self-employed, which I have been for the last 4 years, 4.5 years, you'd like to think that I don't know, someone who's employed and they thought, oh, being self-employed, you'd have the luxury of a lot of time, and it doesn't really work like that, as I found out, because time is money, isn't it? And you kind of have to. I mean, what I do now is, I'm not sure what I said in the last episode. I do sports massage and I'm a barber, and with barbering
yeah,
especially, we've got a booking system, so I know what I'm going into a week before, sometimes 2 or 3 days before,
yeah,
and people book overnight or they book 4 days or a week, or some people book like 4 weeks in advance. But
yeah,
then if
yeah,
it's a quiet day, it's a choice of, I'll do my haircut and then I might have a whole afternoon free like I did today, bar one booking at the end of the day. But it's a case of, right, do I take my opportunity and go smash out a session, but then feel guilty that with how the industry of barbering is, it's still very much how it always used to be prior to COVID, a walk-in system where you just have to be present in the barber shop, and then you just hope that people walk through that door and
yeah,
can you fit me in? Yeah, jump in, free chair. So I always feel a little bit of anxiety and a pressure and guilt as well that I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
the barbers, and am I going to come back to the other barber being there going, oh mate, there were about 4 or 5 people that were
yeah, yeah,
walk-ins when you were gone.
yeah. Sort of missing out on money and stuff, and
Yeah, and you're missing out on money and opportunities, and people may book on the system whilst you're not there, but you obviously block that time, so you know that you're training stress free. That someone has booked in with you in half an hour time. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna have to like ditch everything and go back. But it's a bit of a weird one. But
yeah. I
I've
got
done it.
similar
I've
things.
done it lots. Yeah, I've done it lots, and I've gotten used to it over the last being a barber 3.5 years. Have taken those opportunities, and I know this sounds really cheesy and corny, but you can't put a price on health at all. So I do feel as we're getting older, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
well, I'd maybe sacrifice 2 or 3 clients worth for a good solid 45 minute to an hour session in the gym.
I think that comes back to when you work in shifts, though, because when I used to do sort of night shifts, if I did 4 night shifts and I had 4 days off,
Mm.
like I was a mess. Like you're talking 4 12-hour shifts. You got
Mm.
4 shifts off. You'd have all sorts of crazy stuff going on, and then yeah, you're spending the first day trying to sort yourself out. You've got 2 days off then, because
Yeah.
the last day you're almost stressing about going back. So then you're
Mm-hmm.
doing 2 days worth of training, and you're training to that, but actually you need to see your family, your kids, so you can't, and you just can't keep up with it. So in a way, like although I think you're right, like having that structure of being like employed and what's coming at the end of the month, you've got that money, but
Mm.
actually like the point you're making, you can't put a price on health as well. So I'd rather take less less of that money, and then sort of roll with the punches, but create that time so that I can sort of get the training in, fit it in around family as well,
Yeah.
than than having more money. I don't think I want. I think I'd rather do more training and less money. But like we said last time, some of the events are expensive, especially like Ironman. Now it's really expensive, so you've got to have the money as well. So you get sort of torn between the two, and then trying to balance that is another whole kettle of fish. Well, we're back. We had a small technical issue there.
Mhm.
Right, so yeah, we're talking about sort of shift work and things, and how that was sort of getting in the way of training. I mean, I found it nearly impossible to train on shift work. I mean, my training went downhill quite rapidly.
Mm.
Really, when I was doing shift work, and for me, when I moved out of that and got back into control of my life, I've got less money for it, but I've definitely got more time. I've got
Yeah.
more time for my kids, and I don't have to sacrifice the time with kids,
Mm.
family, or training. I don't have to make that choice so much now, which is one of the
Yeah.
worst choices that you kind of want to make. You're like, oh, I want to go out for like a run, I want to go out for a bike, or go to the gym, but you can't because that's the one that you've got to sometimes just say, well, actually, I can leave that because the kids are more important or the other things, but that's
Did
not
did
always
you
fair.
find did you find with shift work? Did you find that it was um, a time issue, um, or a fatigue issue, or a mixture of both? Because
No,
both I did
I
shift work as well, and we both did night shifts and stuff like that, and
No, it
we
was
were all over the
mentally
shop.
like it was a mental fatigue. That's what I found
Mm.
with it. I found I was completely demotivated in that sort of like thing. I'd come out of it and I'd just
Yeah,
be like, sometimes I'd just be sat on the sofa after a late, so I'd be getting home at like 2 in the morning, and I'd be drinking like 4 cans of lager, just sat watching TV at 3 in the morning.
yeah.
And half three, I've had all 4 cans in like an hour, hour and a half, and then I'm falling asleep on the sofa. And then you're waking up on the sofa at like 7, 8 o'clock. But this is usually the end of like a run of shift, so you're at the end of that run of shift, so you've got the day off. But you're kind of waking up on the sofa, and you're a bit like, oh, what is going on, And then you like trying to see the
Mm.
kids, and you get the kids to school, and you just sit in front of the TV because you're just like
Yeah,
your
because I
brain's
think
gone and things. It's horrible.
I completely I agree with that. Um the whole getting home, it didn't matter what time, an early, late, or night shift were. I think people who've never done shift work or worked, military or emergency services or whatever, those sorts of jobs, um, unless you do it, like I remember when me and Lynn's first got together, I used to go home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'd be sneaking around the house and having a glass of red, watching some TV, try not to disturb her. And on the
Yeah,
flip side, it'd be like off a night shift, getting in at like 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, be like, I fancy a beer. But
that's the
it's
worst.
that's our
That's the
evening.
worst
That
one.
was your evening, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
I only
It's
did
not like a
that
nine to
once,
five Monday to Friday. That
Yeah,
was that you treat that as your evening. That was your sort of decompression, de-stress. It doesn't
yeah,
matter what the clock says. You were like, I fancy a beer. I want a full blown meal. I want to watch some crap on Netflix or whatever's on at 3 in the morning. But I
yeah,
should be going to bed because
yeah.
my body clock and scientifically says you need to be asleep. But it's middle of the night. But it was weird. But yeah, I get that. I got that. And then it was just kind of, I think it was more for me, it was a more fatigue, tired thing than
Right, yeah, yeah.
a mental stress to train. I was just like when I was doing
I was
triathlon, I was
totally
like, I need
demotivated.
to go on the bike, but I just
Yeah,
cannot be bothered. I'm so
yeah,
tired. Like,
yeah. For
it's
me, I
hard.
was just totally demotivated. I'd just be like, what? Why? Why would I bother? And
Mm,
trying to break that and trying to say, right, I gotta go out and do it. You know, um, I found that really hard. I remember watching Game of Thrones. That was it. Game of Thrones had come out, and I was sat on the turbo trainer. I was only allowed to watch Game of Thrones the next episodes if I was on the turbo trainer. If I stopped
mm.
pedaling, I had to press pause. It was the only way I could motivate myself
It's
to
an
like
incentive,
keep
isn't it? Yeah, to
going,
get you on it.
because I just couldn't motivate myself. And running, I couldn't find the energy for that. I just couldn't find it. But I mean, like saying that, do you remember when we worked at like the youth hostel, for example? So we worked together in the youth
Mm,
hostel, and we had a really good sort of work life balance there. I found that one of the best jobs I've ever really had. But obviously, we didn't have kids then or anything like that. So you could just get up, you'd cook breakfast and and then we'd have that middle of the day off, and you'd just kind of go for a run, or uh,
Mm.
like in the winter, because I worked there over the winter, where there's no one around. I go down to the local kayak shop that they rented them, and I
Yeah.
just give them my credit card, and then he just let me take the kayak out, and little things like that. That was I missed that as a sort of as I got older, and the kids and all those other
Mm.
stresses come on board. You can't just take that freedom and just be like, oh, I'm just going to go and kayak. I'm just going to go and do that, because suddenly it's
Yeah.
like was it this morning or yesterday morning? I was up and I was in Asda at 7 in the morning doing the weekly shop, because I was like,
Mm.
if I get this done now, I can be home, I can get sorted, and then I can get on with my training. So yeah, I did the Asda shop at 7 in the morning, got home, unloaded the car, and then I was on the rower at like 8:30. I
Yeah.
started on there at that time. So now I can move my work around. But
Mm.
yeah. And what do you think's the best job? So back to another little issue there, but yeah. So what I was saying was, what do you think is the best job that sort of works the best with like training, like?
I would say for me would be the West Wales job, the YHA one.
Yeah,
Um, we were child free when we had that job, which is massive
yeah, yeah,
in comparison to being a parent. So you could be completely selfish, but um, yeah, I just like the shift pattern because it used to be a 7 or 8 till 12 o'clock, wasn't it? And every day you were working, you'd have that 12 p.m. till about 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. break before
yeah,
the
yeah.
evening bits, which is a massive amount of time, isn't it? So
Yeah. And it's
we
middle of
used
the
to just,
day as well, so it's
yeah,
sunny. Like, it was always nice. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and it was a seasonal job, wasn't it? So it was like end of March till sort of September, October time, wasn't it? So you kind of got you in that best snippet of the year weather-wise, wouldn't you? I know it's West Wales and you get all sorts of weather coming off the sea, but we had some really good summers down there. And I
yeah,
know, me growing up as a bodyboarder, like if there was any swell, I'd be off. No matter what the tides were doing, I'd be gone. Or if there was nothing, I'd go for a run on the coastal path.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Nice run that was. Yeah,
so that was so good. What about you?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same. I mean, like if I think about all the jobs I've had, I'd say that was the best job I've ever had, because you didn't have any bills, so you had no bills, you had no worries. You basically just did uh, half day sort of shifts and things, and then you could just go for runs and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But obviously, if I had kids and I was working there, it would be a totally different thing. So I don't know if
Yeah.
it would be the best job. And I think since then, like working in the youth hostel and what I do now, where I've uh, I obviously put all my money into buying a couple of properties, and now I'm basically just sort of um, running off bookings and things. So I got a lot of time now. I got a lot of time and a very different level of stress. I got a lot of time for my kids, and then I can really fit that training in.
Hmm.
So kind of like, I suppose, job wise, like, have I got like, I suppose I have got a job in a way, but it's a totally different thing. So I'm self-employed, and
Hmm.
maybe being self-employed is probably the best thing you can do when trying to fit training in and kids. So I think that's probably the best one, the best balance,
Hmm.
because even if, say, I mean, I don't know, like you do a trade maybe, um, like because I do chimney sweeping, so I get to choose how many of them I want to do, and if
Hmm.
I say, well, I'm not working Monday and Tuesday, then I won't book anyone in on Monday and Tuesday, and I'll have those days off. So if I want to have that time, okay, it's less money, but then sometimes I wonder how much money I actually need. Yeah, I mean
Hmm.
that's a bit nice in some ways as well, but yeah, I think with kids being self-employed makes it easier, because you can choose what to do
Yeah.
much, especially if kids are ill. Like, it's so much easier to deal with that situation, and without throwing everything into like chaos,
Yeah.
with holidays and sickness, and then trying to sort out with work, all of that. That's just
Yeah.
that nightmarish, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. So, I think having worked both sides, I'd agree. Self-employed, like you say, it's I think the biggest stress for me was when the kids were younger and I was in shift work, and I had to like last minute, like one of them was really poorly, and
Yeah,
like that was like Pippa, and Lynn's was breastfeeding Finn, and it's like she can't deal with that both, and my daughter's throwing up everywhere, but I got to go on shift. I've got a
yeah,
shift nailed on, have
yeah,
to go in, and I'd be like, like stressed Eric, like I don't know what to do. I'm torn because I was
yeah,
always that person that I didn't want to let people down. I didn't want to be, like sick note Hughes or whatever's off again, and I hated that. But I'd be like,
yeah,
have to take time off. Whereas you're self-employed, it's like, right, okay, well, I've got a booking app for my sports therapy, and we've got a booking app in the barbers. It's just like, yeah,
yeah,
Rich is the owner, but I'm renting a chair, so technically I'm self-employed. Whereas sports therapy is completely me. I just block
yeah,
the time off, and it's like, all right, I might
yeah,
lose 2 hours work of earnings, but I've got no hassle, I've got no stress, and I'm here with the
yeah,
family.
yeah.
Or like I say
Yeah, like
today,
I
or I can
find,
go
I
have a
find
session,
that.
go get some training in.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
can go onto the bookings and then I can say to them like, "Oh, I'm going to move your chimney sweeps all to next week, or I'm going to move them on to a couple of evenings." And most people are just like, "Yeah, it's all fine." So you
Mm.
can easily move those things around. Whereas I couldn't,
You
uh,
can't when you're employed.
I
Yeah.
can't because then like I'd be let's say I was doing like a transfer, so then they're expecting me to be in to transfer a patient halfway across the country,
Mm.
and they can't get someone else to replace that job role at that time. Then it's like, but what can I do? Like I can't just leave the kids, you know. So
Yeah.
you sort of like, well, I can't. Like I've got to, and then they get all funny with you, and
You got
yeah,
that worry then. You're gonna upset the bosses or whatever. And
yeah, yeah, and then they'll start calling you in and saying, oh, we're going to have to move you onto a different rotor, or this isn't working, and then everything just gets messed up, and
mm.
that's yeah, that's stress. That is. Whereas now I'm just in charge of it all, so I'm just saying, well, at the end of the day, I'll lose some money, but I, just, I'll deal with that. I'll roll with those punches.
Yeah.
Um, family's got to come
I
first.
think the dream ultimate would be like, for example, in your situation, if um, scaling up, you could get someone to just manage your properties. You know what I mean? So you then, it's almost like a passive income, isn't it? It's like if you have a product which you sell on Etsy or Shopify and all that jazz, and that
Yeah,
scales up over a course built up over 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and it's something that's bringing you. That has to be megabucks, isn't it? It's bringing you something in like a few £100 a week or whatever, or afford enough for a day that you don't physically have to be present out of the
yeah. I
house
mean,
somewhere.
I know
So
what
you
you're
can just
saying, but
go,
with
I go for a bike ride and I could have sold 50 units whilst I'm out and it's making money, but I can train as well. I think that's the ultimate, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean that
it's,
kind of is what happens with
mm,
with my moment, because like we did it this way because I can go down to the holiday place in Breen, and then I can basically
mm,
say, well, actually I've got no bookings tonight, so I'm going to go down there, I'm going to do some cleaning, I'm going to go for a run, I'm going to come
mm,
back and finish the cleaning, and then sometimes I'll stay overnight because Rachel's like, yeah, she's not working the next day or anything, so she'll just say, oh, I've got kids, so I'll just say, oh, brilliant, I'll stay and I'll go for another run in the morning and then
yeah,
finish and then go home.
take your
And the
opportunities,
same
isn't
with
it?
Wales as
Yeah.
well. I can do that. So, and because it's all bringing income in, it kind of works really well for training. So it's kind of like,
Mm,
I feel like I've kind of gone down that route because it does really help with that, like work life balance, that training, like. And for some reason, I find like being motivated to go training is kind of like one of my big life goals.
mm,
Maybe a lot of people don't see that or they don't have that, but for me, it's like a really high priority. Like
mm,
obviously my kids and my family and stuff, and then like when it comes to me and my hobbies and stuff, it's like I want to go out for a run. I want to go out and do something. Just what I want to be able to do. Like, and I need the time for that.
yeah.
So all these other things, I just think they're just immaterial to me. I'm not bothered. Like, so I don't need the
Mm.
money for it. I just need the money for the entry fees. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially what you're doing, isn't it? I mean, well, I guess what high rock. I don't know how high roxes are. I know the
You
other
can't get
spin-off
into them now.
events.
Like you
Yeah.
can't even get into them because there's a waiting list, isn't there now? Like some.
No, it's kind of they don't like they like. There's I just seen on social media earlier they've got the Birmingham High Rocks in. I think it's for like end of October. I can't go because I think I said last time we're on holiday, October half term. I think that's it anyway. Anyway, they rumour the release dates, tickets online. So High
Yeah,
Rocks will not say, let's say they will announce the year's calendar. So they'll have like Birmingham High Rocks, October 25th, whatever it is.
yeah.
But they won't, like, they'll release that, say, at the start of the year, but they won't release the ticket sales until like 2 months out or 3 months, something like that. And they don't actually nail on the date to say tickets going to be open there. It's really weird. Don't know how. I think I saw on social media earlier. There's like, because my algorithm is all High Rocks. There's like some website came up or some site on Instagram said rumor is that the general sales are going to be on 22nd of May, and it's kind of like if like Metallica or Taylor Swift or some massive artist is doing a UK tour, you have to have your laptop open when they go on sale at 9 a.m. on a date. You know what I mean? You have to be in that queue. It's like that with High Rocks, apparently. This is what
Yeah,
I've just been told by people who have done it. You have to sit in a queue of like thousands
yeah.
to wait to buy a ticket, and it's
I
like,
mean,
oh man,
maybe we'll do a talk on that because because some of the Ironman events sold out so quick this year. I've never known the halves all over Europe to be sold out
yeah.
so quick. I've never known it. So no, this
It's
year
like
I
you
kind
have
of
to have notifications and alarms on your phone and
yeah,
set
that's right.
because there's so many, and it's like, man,
I mean,
it's
I might
gone
have to
completely
plan.
different. Like,
Yeah, I might have to really plan what I'm going to do next year. If they're all going to sell out so quickly, I'm
yeah,
really going to have to
you
start
have to
thinking
plan like
ahead.
now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Whereas usually you just sort of get to the end of the year and you're just like, oh, there's a place in this one or that one. You think, oh yeah, I might go for that. Whereas now
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's all sold out. You're like, well,
yeah,
you have to commit to it much earlier, which is
yeah,
maybe that's another chat. We'll have to have about that another time.
yeah.
We'll just move on to next bit really. So what are your sort of goals for this week then coming up?
So I've
We'll
actually,
we're
I've
halfway through now.
signed up. Say again, sorry, bud.
I say we're about halfway through the week, aren't we? Actually, so I suppose we've
Yeah,
got.
yeah. So I had Monday off because of my birthday, but yesterday I had that battle rope session, which is only half hour, but it spikes your heart rate. It's good workout. And then I had that session day. Tomorrow, I drop the kids off, and then I've got about 2 hours before my first client. I'm doing sports therapy tomorrow. Got someone in about 11:15. So I'm again blocked on my calendar. Blocked it just about an hour ago. Right, I blocked that time off, so I'm going to go to the gym. Oh yeah, I've downloaded. Oh, sorry, I digress. I've downloaded an app. I can't remember the name of it. It's one of the best. Voted one of the best for like a coaching program, and it's like £9 a month. But I've got a week's free trial, and I think I'll probably commit to it. And it's really detailed. I was really surprised actually. What race it recognises all the High Rocks races around the world. What day? It's like it asks you how often you can train, what days are best you can train, what's your 10k finish time, all this. You feed it all in, and it's just like, right, here's a program, and when can you start it? And it's like, I start on Thursday. So yeah, my goal this week is to start that and commit to it. Although, like I say, the first session on tomorrow, first session tomorrow is just all almost calisthenics. It's all like no weights involved. It's like air squats, hanging knee raises, and all these weird ones. And when I looked into it, I was like, well, first few seconds I looked at each. There's like 5 exercises. Do as many rounds as you can in 45 minutes. That's the session. And I'm like, but when I broke it down, I looked at each exercise. I was like, yeah, actually, they all play a part in,
Yeah,
like for burpees,
yeah.
like walking lunges and stuff with no weight. It's a foundation phase. Although it recognises that I put my fitness level as sort of mid, not elite or beginner. So it's not a beginner thing, but it's just getting those foundations set for the first
Yeah,
week, and then week 2 is broken all down. It's really exciting. So I think, I'm gonna pay for
so
it.
you're using an app now to run your training. That what you're is that
Yeah,
how?
because like I said to you, I said to you last week, we were talking about training sessions. I was like, I watch YouTube. I know the layout of High Rocks. I'll just go in, I'll smash the ski erg and row, do a kilometre run in between them, maybe pick like warbles. It's no, I'm just doing it sort of blindly. I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. But I think the fact of the matter is, I need a kind of a bit of more professional guidance, and I need to stick to that. I always find sticking to stuff like that hard because like I either get distracted, bored, I miss a session, and I go, oh, well, I've missed one or two now. I'll just delete the app and cancel it. So
Well, it'd be
my goal
interesting,
is to commit
yeah.
to it.
It'd be interesting to see how that works and whether you can stick to like the apps, like because I can't. I know that if I
Yeah,
try and do that, I can't do it. I can't stick to these programs, and like people are really rigid about. I just get
that's a whole nother episode, isn't it? All these.
yeah. I mean, it is yeah. I mean, for me, going into next week, I'll be doing. I got two big brick sections to do, so I'll be doing a 5K row and the 25 mile on the bike, and then going out on 10K run. So I've got two more of those to do. So I've got to do Thursday and hopefully Friday. Otherwise, I'll have to do Saturday. I've got those two to do. But I'm also then going into next week. I want to do a lot more of the weightless sort of stuff, like you're saying, like the lunges and things that I really need to stretch out a few different muscles to then get back into long runs. Because obviously I got
Yeah.
Manvers coming up, so I need to be getting into like that 15-mile run sort of mode now. But that can only be done with like solid rest as well. So I've got to be careful how many of them I do, you know. But for this week, yeah, I've just got those two brick sessions to do. And that's kind of it for this week. I need to rest it a bit then going into the weekend. Really, I need to
Yeah.
I need to be careful then because I got to put some big runs in. So yeah, but it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see how the app goes. That'll be an interesting one to find out.
Yeah, I will. I will. Yeah, I'll let you know because, like I say, just briefly, I don't know when we did Ironman. Well, I know I did, and I think you did as well. We both didn't hire coaches, pay for plans, or anything like that, did we? We just did our own
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, it would be good to talk
Wrongly or
about that
rightly,
in the future. Yeah,
that's a whole talking point, isn't it?
yeah.
I
I mean,
just
it's too
and I
expensive
managed to
to like.
complete it, and you had.
Yeah,
You know,
that's all.
we both completed a full distance Ironman without professional coaching,
Yeah,
apps
absolutely. Yeah.
or anything. So it's doable. But I think if I ever do an Ironman again, I think I might seriously consider an app or a training thing because I've got a PB. Whereas when I did 10B, I had never done it, so there was no PB. It was just I want to complete it. Whereas I think this time now it'd be like, well, I want to better that. So I think maybe, but again, it's a talking point, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have
It's doing your
to.
own thing versus hiring a coach or paying for an app. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'll see how this app goes.
yeah.
I hope I can stick to it. It's a long time because it's based on the High Rocks in December. So that's a
Oh
long
right.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does it from the whole year for the whole calendar. So it's a
Right.
long time to commit.
Well, we'll see. So we'll
Yeah.
have to wrap it up there, I think. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's on. We'll yeah, and we'll catch up next week, and we'll see what we're
Yeah.
talking about then. And we'll see you all again.
See ya.